Kenzo Local here, and welcome back to my channel. It has been 3 months since I last released a vlog. The last one was my Boracay trip. And the reason behind that is because I was super busy in being a newly promoted unit manager. So really, I was focused on my career and really helping my agents excel in the industry as well. And also the reason why you're knowing about me having tested positive of COVID just now is because I really didn't want to broadcast it, and it's so not me because you know me, I'm an open book. I post everything about myself every single day in my IG stories and everything. But I felt that this time around, my COVID journey, I wanted it to be a battle that I fought internally and myself, and I really didn't want a lot of people to worry about me. And so right now, what I'm going to do is to tell you all about my journey, the struggles, and the entire complete story about how everything happened. And of course, this vlog is more focused on me not having personally struggled with COVID, but rather me struggling being in the same house as my dad, which is a senior citizen already, is a vulnerable person, and of course, it was very risky to be around him. So, because of course he got stroke 4 times, and he is hypertensive. So imagine the stress that it brought me, and that is also the reason why I did not intend or did not think of doing a daily vlog, like vlogging inside the house, because I was really scared. And right now I told myself that after the entire experience, I wanted to vlog about it. I wanted to help other people who have or may be experiencing the same situation as I have experienced of being in the same house with a vulnerable person. So let's begin. And I'd like to start off by saying that the reason why we got tested in the first place was because we had to go back to Zambales. So we're currently here in Zambales. Today is April 29th. And Mike and I, early on in April, we had to go back to Zambales because Mike had to attend to his dad because his dad had to undergo surgery for his eye, and we had to be there for him to help him through as he recovers and everything. So going back to Zambales, coming from Makati, we had a lot of requirements that we had to fulfill. We had to get travel passes and to accomplish the S-Pass, and a part of the requirements is getting a swab test. So we got a swab test Saturday, that was April 3, right? And I was very confident. I was very confident that I was going to test negative simply because we went on lockdown again. That was March 28th. So March 28th, that was Sunday, up until April 2, that was a Friday. Mike and I, since it was on lockdown, Mike and I was just in the apartment for the entire 6 days leading to the time that we got tested. So we got tested on a Saturday, and essentially after we got tested, we decided that it was best to go to Bulacan first, because I haven't seen my dad and my little brother, Kenji, for 4 months already, imagine. And that was a very, very long period of time, and I wanted to see them before we traveled going to Zambales because, that was going to be along the way. So we waited for the test results. So we went home April 3 in Bulacan, and we waited for the test results there. Once the test results arrived, we would apply for the S-Pass that would enable us to travel to Zambales. So the plan was perfect and everything. And so I was there Saturday, April 3. April 4, we were having a normal day. I miss my dad and my little brother so much. So we bonded a lot at the house. And I was very shocked because it was, I believe, 2 in the afternoon, 2 p.m. That day, April 4, it actually was Mike and I we're celebrating our monthsary that day. So imagine, in that hour at 2 p.m., we received, I was the first one who saw the results. It gets emailed to you. And when I saw the results, I was just really confident. But when I saw that I was positive, I was like, I really didn't know what to do. I was like, I was paralyzed at that moment. I just remember that I was in our dining table, and then I was here. Mike was beside me, and then in front of me was my little brother eating bananas or eating his cereal or whatever. And then my dad was behind me. He was toggling through his new computer, and I was like, I didn't know what to do. So I nudged on Mike and told him, Mike, let's go outside. And he did, and we went outside. So I told him that I was positive, and I told him to check his results as well. But when his results came in, it tested negative. So, which is so weird because Mike and I are always, together. And what happened really was I was just so paranoid that I called the doctor, or I called my good friend who works for the clinic that where we got tested, and I told him I tested positive, and even he was super shocked because we were with him that day as well. And he asked for a rerun because I told him it's almost impossible that I would be positive, because in the past 6 days I was just at home, right? So it was so weird, and it was so weird. So he tested, he ran the test again, and he could, 2 hours afterwards he told me that was really positive. So in that 2 or 3 hours that Mike and I were outside of the house, I was just so mad. I was so mad at myself because I knew that my dad was a vulnerable person. He's hypertensive. He had stroke 4 times. And I knew for a fact that if he caught the virus, then it would not be good news at all, and so I had 2 choices. The first choice was really for me to go back to Makati and isolate myself there in our apartment, or stay in Bulacan with my dad and Kenji. At first, the option that I was leaning into was the option wherein I wanted to go back to Makati so that I no longer get to expose my dad and my little brother. But since I got to expose them already for a day and a half, or more than that already, and I had the resources in terms of monetary resources, in terms of having the car available there. If anything happens to them, then I'd be able to rush them to the hospital and be able to do more to help them. So I decided to stay. But the hardest part there is admitting to my dad that I was positive. And that was really the struggle. I went back and forth in our driveway. Mike was telling me to go tell your dad. And I was like, I can't tell my dad. And I was just so stressed out. So after 30 minutes of walking back and forth, I decided to do so. And I decided to tell my dad. He was just in the screen door. He was toggling through the new laptop I gave him. And I asked, of course I already had my face mask on and my face shield on, which was so weird because I was at the house. And then I asked, Dad, I said, Papa. And then he stood up. Why, anak, why? And then I was really terrified because I was really sad that I probably would have infected him already. And I was blaming myself internally that I was just so bad. So I told him, actually, telling my dad that I was COVID positive was worse than telling him that I was gay, which was oh my God, it was so hard to tell him. But anyways, the thing about it is that we were separated by a screen door. I was wearing my face shield and my face mask, and I told him, Papa, remember yesterday we had we actually got tested. We had our swab test yesterday. The results came in just now, and I tested positive. So I really didn't know how my dad would react. I thought he would be hysterical or anything, but my dad was very calm. And I remember the only things he said to me were, Kenzo, anak, okay lang yan. That's okay. We will get through this. Siyempre, he said it in Tagalog, no? Okay lang yan. Malalagpasan natin to. And mag-pray lang tayo. So at that moment, I really wanted to hug him, but of course I couldn't. Yeah, so that was essentially the first day. And I was really mad, but come to think of it, the day before, we were at the grocery. I bought a ton of Lysol. We actually bought, if you guys saw my stories the day before, the first day I was in Bulacan, we bought 2 boxes of face masks. And the weirdest thing about it is that I bought 40 pieces of face shield just because it was just 6 pesos in near our house, so outside our subdivision. So why not? Why not buy a lot of these, even though I was in Bulacan and I didn't know? But really, I think that was God telling me to do so, and he wanted to, to prepare me for it, and I really didn't know what I was being prepared for. So I was just so grateful. And at that moment, I'm very grateful as well that we already got to do the groceries. I did a lot of groceries the day before as well. So we were very prepared, which is weird because I really didn't expect that I would test positive. I really just wanted to, stock up. I really love doing the groceries and with my family and everything. So that was the story of me testing positive. Now, the thing about it is that we decided to stay, and in our house, it's a 2-story house, so Mike and I decided to just stay in the 2 rooms that we had upstairs. And the thing about it is that on the side of the house, there's stairs going down, and ultimately, that was, sort of like had an invisible wall. That was the only part of the house that downstairs that we were allowed to go to. So, I was planning with Dad, and I was really, really scared. Not really for myself, but for my father, because I really wasn't. I knew that I could really, surpass having COVID. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me, but for my dad, I was really, really scared. No, so what I did is that I created my COVID diary, and I actually have it here in my phone. So imagine I tested positive April 3, and the thing about it is that I wanted to prolong my quarantine. So I decided that my day 1 will be April 4, which is the day that I received the results, which is, of course, obviously, I've been positive for the last few days already. Because the doctor said that the virus can be detected probably on your 5th day onwards. So obviously I was on my 5th day onwards already. But anyways, I wanted to do quarantine first day on April 4, right? And that was on a Sunday. So my observations for that day is that I was very normal and I had my usual runny nose, usual self, because I always have a runny nose with or without COVID. And but of course I was very, very sensitive in terms of how I felt. That day onwards, I was feeling, I was thinking to myself, what am I feeling different today? I mean, I would wake up in the days after, and then I would really feel myself. I that night as well, I browsed through all of those vlogs, all of those articles online that I could find to actually help me cope with it. And really, at the time when I tested positive, for a fact that I am a very, very jolly person. I am a very energetic person, but at that time I was really sad. And I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to broadcast it in social media as well, because I'm not that kind of person who would be very sad. But I was really sad for 2 hours. And I really thought of it as God's way of telling me, anak, siguro it's time na magpahinga ka muna. Or it's time for you to rest up. You've been so busy this past few months, really, in terms of selling, and also in terms of recruiting, and also managing your team, maybe it's time for you to rest up at least for the next 2 weeks. And I also had the option of being really sad and just curling up into my bed and detaching myself from work and anything. But I also realized that 11 new agents were dependent upon me in starting off their journey. And if I would have given up on myself, then it might impact them a lot, because I was their leader and I should be there to guide them through. And that was when I decided, no, I will not let COVID get the better of me. I will not let it make me feel sad in any way. And that was it. I just felt sad in 2 hours, and then I was back on track. Really, I didn't really mind that I had the virus. I was just so dead, man. And I told myself, laban lang. Okay, so this is my COVID diary. Essentially, I wanted to share with you how each day progressed, and to share with you really that at the back of my mind, every single day that I woke up, every single morning that I woke up, I was dreading the fact that I would hear the first cough of my father. For me, that meant that was a time that I had to ready myself for whatever can happen. And I was just so sad. I promised myself, or I thought that I would really cry if I heard that first cough from my father. And fortunately enough, that day never came. My father, every day I checked up on him. I would usually call him in the morning, which was so weird. I would call him because I'm in BGC, or I'm in Makati, and then I call him. But now I'm calling him, I was just upstairs and he's just downstairs, and so that was so weird. I would call him every morning to check up on him. Dad, are you okay? Or how are you feeling? And everything. And he would always tell me that he's okay. And I am just so grateful that, that day never came. He never coughed and he never exhibited any symptoms. So right now, I'm actually going to share with you guys the precautions that we did, because of course the main focus of this vlog is for you to help those people who are also dealing with people who are vulnerable. So the first thing we did was to separate the bathroom. So of course we only had one bathroom at home, and my dad actually we have a laundry area at the back of the house. It's still within the house, but essentially it's outside the main house. And my dad, what my dad did is that he actually converted it to a makeshift bathroom for me and Mike, which is so fun because it's really like a province vibe, wherein I take a bath outside of the house, not in the usual bathroom, and then we have the soap there, we have the shampoo, all of the bath essentials there. And then he actually just covered, because in the laundry area, if you stand there naked, you can actually be seen by people who walk in the front of the house, because there are grills there, but still it can be seen. So what he did is Papa actually created a door made out of hierro. I don't know what hierro is in English, but hierro is actually what we use in the roof of our houses. Yeah, so that's scrap of metal. So he used that as our door, and it's funny because every time that we open or close it, it makes this huge, it makes this super loud sound, which is, kind of funny. So that was the first thing that we did. And essentially, I told everyone that there would be no contact. When Mike and I would go downstairs, every single time we would have our face mask and face shield on. And we were not, it was a rule that we would not bring anything to us, with us when we go downstairs, just so we can, we do not bring things that are contaminated. So every time that we take a bath or we have to go to the comfort room, what we would do is that we would go down only with our towels and with a face shield and face mask, and ultimately just bring Lysol with us. Because everywhere we went, we sprayed Lysol. So from the stairs going down to the door that led us to the outside of the house, So I sprayed every single bit of it generously. I would spray a lot, actually. I would do a lot of those. And so that was really our life. And I'm really glad that we had a lot of unused paper plates at home. And if you are a Filipino, you would probably have parents that actually, keep all of those disposable spoon and forks, wherever fast food chain you go to. So that was my dad, and we had a lot of those. So we had a lot of disposable utensils and paper plates. So what they would do in serving us food is they would of course serve us food in the paper plates and leave it upstairs on the topmost part of the stairs. And then a few minutes after, Dad will call me and tell me that our food is there. So I would pick it up, and Mike and I will eat on the second floor. And we also had our own garbage can, so that we would actually just put everything in the trash bag, and it's as simple as that. Other precautions that we did really was to just spray Lysol everywhere. I was really generous in spraying Lysol. I'm just very happy because I bought 4 tall Lysols like that. I spent almost 4,000 pesos to actually have all those Lysols, and I was just so happy that I did, because every time we would spray, and I really just felt like I was Elsa. I would spray Lysol instead of spraying ice or whatever. And so what other precautions that we did not talk. Every time that Mike, even though we had a mask and face shield, we did not talk at all. Every time that we were downstairs, we would do sign languages. When I had Kenji to open the door, or when it was locked or anything, and I would spray. So those were the things. And then my dad kept a really huge distance from me. I told him to do so. And then both my dad and Kenji also had face masks on for the entire 14 days. That was a precaution that I told them to do, even though it wasn't comfortable for them at first. Of course, I kept on telling them. I kept on seeing my brother not wearing a face mask. Kenji, wear a face mask. And I would call him and scold him for that. And that was it. I'm just so happy that my family is very disciplined, and my younger brother is at 13 years old, so he knows how to follow orders already and know the gravity of the situation. So I am just so happy. And with regards to my symptoms, so the doctor and also the friend of mine who was working for the clinic was actually very astounded by how the virus progressed through me, because essentially I had 0 symptoms. I didn't have shortness of breath. There was a time I was so mad at myself. I ran a lot upstairs, trying to feel like, am I gonna have shortness of breath? And then I didn't. So I ran a lot. I didn't have shortness of breath. I didn't have loss of taste. That would be sad if I had loss of taste, because I love eating. I didn't have fever. I didn't have cough. I haven't coughed the entire time. Mike and I both did not develop any kind of symptoms, and really none of the symptoms manifested. I did not have an itchy throat. I did not have sore throat, nothing. So, which is the really weird thing about it is that there were days wherein I would wake up and I would feel so well. Really, I would feel like some of the things that I said here was that, as you can see here, I woke up from the best slumber I've had, and really a lot of days wherein I would just wake up to an amazing morning. I keep the diary here, so I update every day what happened to me. And I would always say I woke up from a great sleep, no symptoms. I'm just the usual Kenzo self. And my friend from the clinic, Kuya CJ, hi Kuya CJ, thank you for all your help. He actually told me that my viral load was 1,500 when I got tested positive. And normally people would have 6,000 to 7,000 viral load already once they got tested. So his hypothesis was that the virus was just starting in my body, and that's why I had a low viral load count. But ultimately, it really didn't progress, and there were days where I thought to myself, do I really have the virus? Like, seriously? But I didn't want to be very confident as to let go of all the precautions that we did. Of course, I didn't do that because of my father who was there. And that was it, we spent, so that I'm filming this today, April 29. Today is day 26 from the moment I got tested positive, and our 14th day of quarantine was April 17, so we were done with quarantine already. At the time, we were just so happy, and Mike and I got tested again April 21 in the same laboratory in Pasay. That is, wait, I forgot the name. That is MMDC, that is Amarillo Medical and Diagnostic Clinic. And yeah, it was fun. I got the nerves when I was back in the clinic and saying, oh my God, please be negative. And really, I did not have even the slightest symptoms at all. And I shared that with my doctor. So you know what? I was very honest with my doctor, and I told him, you know what, doc? You know what I think what happened is that, when the COVID cells entered my body, I got to alert my Kenzo cells, and all of my Kenzo cells were like, rah, 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 like doing like that, and all the COVID cells died. I think that's the best way of explaining why I really didn't develop any symptoms, why I really didn't have all of those to go through. And I'm just so grateful. And then also in terms of vitamins, we took a lot of vitamins. My God. So I gave my dad the vitamins that was provided to me by my one of my cousins. It's Portier Placenta. So I had my dad drink that in the morning, and in the afternoon we would drink. What would we drink? We would all drink Immune Pro, a tablet of Immune Pro, and what was the other? What was the other thing that we actually? Yeah, Potency 1,000 milligrams. So in the afternoon, Mike and I, and in the entire family, even Kenji and Papa, would take Immune Pro and Potency, and in the evening we would actually take Cell Essentials from USANA. And yeah, so that was, I think it was a tandem. I don't really remember what it's called, but it was a tandem wherein one is sort of like multivitamins and one is sort of like ascorbic acid, and both of them would be really good for the immune system. So that was what a friend of mine actually said. Shout out to Vanny. Hi Vanny, thank you for providing me those vitamins, and I'm very happy because she provided me with the vitamins, and then I just started taking them when I tested positive. So it was a huge help as well, and really nothing happened. I'm very happy. My little brother, my dad did not develop any symptoms, and the reason why I wanted April 4 to be our first day, because I wanted Kenji and Papa as well. We were at the same pace as well, so, and I was just so happy. After that, I wanted to hug my dad, but of course I was still scared before we left going to Manila. And for those of you who are experiencing the same thing, I just want to tell you guys not to panic and just sit down and think of how you're gonna be going through with it. The best thing for me was that I stayed because I can monitor my dad. If you have parents that you would not tell you that they're feeling the slightest symptom just because they don't want you to worry as their child, like what I think my dad would do, it's best, I think, to stay with your parents, but isolate yourself and do all of these precautions as much as possible. Separate yourself from dining with them, separate yourself at all costs, and really just pray and take your vitamins, and that will do the trick. And now it is actually our day 26. It's my day 26 already, and I'm COVID free for 12 days already, and I'm just so happy with regards to that. So that is it for my vlog. I hope I was able to help you guys and give you support as well, and give you hope most of all, that you can go through it as well, and just keep on praying, just keep on believing that you will be able to overcome this thing, and do not go outside, which is weird because at that moment, I wasn't going outside for the last 6 days, and that was the moment I had COVID, which is so weird. I had a lot of other moments wherein I was going outside, I traveled, and then I was always negative whenever we had our swab tests for travel purposes when we went to Boracay in January, and we went to Boracay again on March, and then so that was it. And to celebrate the success of me, being able to surpass COVID, I bought myself my first ever MacBook Air, which is this one, which I'm using right now. I actually have listed down here the things that I wanted to say, just so I don't forget anything. And I'm just so happy with regard to that. At least I can use this for work, and it inspires me to really work harder as well. And that is it. I also bought a few luxury bags as well. So anyways, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions in any way that I can help you, please feel free to comment down below, and also please feel free to message me on Instagram. Let's follow. Let's connect there. That's at KNZGN. I'm gonna put that here, and that is it. So thank you very much, guys, and have a great day. Stay safe and stay healthy, and thank you, guys. Bye.